Consider it a long overdue Christmas present. Another episode of New England Hockey Journal.
Peralf and across, they score!
Lots to unwrap. Let's get to it.
Wow!
Hello again. Happy holidays, and welcome to New England Hockey Journal. I'm Evan Marinofsky. On this jam-packed episode, we'll visit with the U.S. National Team Development Program and talk with a Concord, Mass native making a huge impact on the team. We'll stop by Commonwealth Avenue for a visit with the BU women's hockey team. And speaking of Hockey East, Commissioner Steve Metcalf stops by. We'll talk about the league and about a new rule change that starting next year will have a huge impact on the college hockey landscape. But first to Marlborough, Mass. The 16th annual Garrett Reagan Summit, known as the unofficial start of the high school hockey season, was held in early December. It gives coaches and staff an opportunity to evaluate their talent. Two staples of the summit were on hand, Hingham and Marshfield. Each team is led by a coaching Hall of Famer, Hingham's Tony Messina and Marshfield's Dan Connolly. We caught up with the veteran coaches at the Reagan Summit.
All begins now. I'll give you guys a second together. I'll see you outside.
Hingham head coach Tony Messina.
Face-off intensity, all five guys ready to go on draws.
And Marshfield head coach Dan Connolly. For decades, synonymous with their respective schools, towns, teams.
It's 41 years.
26 years later, still going at it.
Make him work for his own entity, okay?
The years haven't diminished the fire and passion each has for coaching. The game, the kids. So another Reagan Summit. A new year, and a chance to examine what they have.
Here's Dixon, he scores! Robert Dixon.
That got tipped on net and they scored.
We have a lot of young kids, a lot of new kids this year. We have 5 freshmen and another 7 kids that haven't played varsity hockey. So it's getting their feet wet.
We have 2 great leaders in Colin Lash and Robert Dixon. We have a good senior class that's very strong leaders as well. And you just build on that.
Each longtime coach has enjoyed success. League titles, division titles, state championships. It means wins. Just not sure how many.
I don't know the exact number. I know it's over 350 because somebody tracked it a couple years ago. We had a 350th puck, but I don't know exactly how many.
Each will tell you the number of wins they have doesn't matter a whole lot. It's not the most important reason that keeps them returning year after year.
I love watching kids improve. They come in as a freshman, develop skills, they get better and better. And over time, they become really good hockey players. That's the rewarding part of it.
Every year to, enjoy it with the kids, help them become better, as I said, better people every day, better players every day, and really be involved in anything that they need in their lives.
Does this have the legs? Yes!
If their players were asked to describe their time with their coach,
I hope they would say that I keep them accountable, but I'm fair. We have a lot of success during the year and we have fun doing it. And I think that's very important that the kids have fun and at the same time, they are accountable. So that's hopefully what they would say.
Hopefully that they have fun every day at the rink, that they're learning something every day.
it's clear that the style and approach of each coach has rubbed off on their players. Other coaches have taken notice.
When you're playing against Tony, you have to worry about them stretching or the way that they're going to take face-offs, and he's very technical. Dan does an amazing job also in the community. Both of them do a lot of give back, which I think is the most impressive thing. I think it's the culture that they've built where when boys come up through the program in the middle school, they all want to play. They all want to be a Ram or be a Harborman.
And of course, high praise from each coach for their hockey colleague and friend.
Dan is a great coach. He's very caring about his players.
As great a coach as he is, he's had a lot of success there. He's an even better guy.
Friend to all coaches, helps a lot of different coaches out along the way.
I think it's a friendly rivalry, very competitive rivalry, and our kids know they have to be at their best because Hingham is well coached, they're disciplined, and they're always a very good hockey club.
And for those who follow high school hockey, check out My Hockey Live, which offers the only dynamic and interactive live stream broadcasting services for high schools in Massachusetts and prep schools throughout New England. Coverage includes sports and events, enabling families, fans, and alumni to watch their favorite teams anytime and from anywhere. When we return here on New England Hockey Journal, the Boston University women's hockey team takes center stage. New England Hockey Journal's Rinkwise podcast, hosted by me, Evan Marinofsky, is the hockey podcast for serious hockey players and their supporters to help guide them throughout their hockey careers with interviews and insight from some of the biggest names in the game. Download Rinkwise today wherever you get your podcasts or listen at hockeyjournal.com/podcast. Last spring, the boys' prep team at Cushing Academy needed a new coach when head coach Paul Pearl left to take the athletic director's position at Dexter Southfield. Cushing's new bench boss is alum Ryan Bourque, son of NHL Hall of Famer and longtime Bruins defenseman Ray. When Ryan received the offer to coach his old team, it was, for him, a no-brainer.
Obviously, Cushing's been a very important piece in my life. I think when an opportunity comes about like this to lead a program that's so revered and really respected like Cushing Academy, it was something that I couldn't pass up, and fortunately it turned out to come to fruition.
I was at last year's Elite Eight title game at Harvard. Cushing fans packed the stands. Must be nice to have that kind of support.
Yeah, I think it's a mixture of a lot of things. I think just the tradition and the commitment to excellence that has kind of transpired here at Cushing for over 100 years now. You know, it's that tradition, but also the sense of community and really the closeness of all the students and faculty here at Cushing. We care about each sport and each activity, whatever that may be. And yeah, the turnout, even when I was here as a student, has always been relevant. That kind of sea of purple is a sight to see. So,
wondering, when you took the job, any words of advice from your father?
You know, it's always been kind of the same rhetoric with my dad, and that's, you know, the professional that he was on a day-to-day basis, to be able to witness that from my, you know, the first 10 years of my life. You know, if you can try to be the best you can be each and every day, you're not going to have any regrets kind of when you lay your head down on that pillow at night.
Bourque takes the reins of a squad that made it to the Elite Eight title game the past 2 seasons. Shifting gears now. When the women's college hockey season began, the Hockey East preseason coaches poll had UConn and Northeastern atop the board. UConn is defending champs, and Northeastern had won the previous 6 league titles. In the middle of the projected standings, the BU Terriers picked to finish 6th in the 10-team pack. Not all predictions are accurate. When the season began, the BU women's hockey team knew there was work to be done. A 7th place finish in Hockey East last year, a sub-500 record.
Last year was a little bit tough for us.
Some players bought in, but there was also some players, I think, with just like the switch of head coaches, it's hard to kind of fully understand and be able to grasp all the concepts that she's introducing.
She is second-year head coach Tara Watchhorn, a BU alum and gold medal Olympian with Team Canada. Only the second head coach in the program's 20-year history,
Coming to the red line and filling the middle.
Watchhorn leads a group that looks much different than a year ago.
Having 10 new girls on a roster of only 25, it really does feel like a new team and a new opportunity.
From the looks of things, the Terriers have taken that opportunity and are running with it.
And now Vogt sends it cross ice to Bachna, who scores! Healy to Wall, scores! Sydney Healy scores!
It's just a massive testament to our leadership group and the entire team. They're taking ownership over the environment we want every day, and they're bringing it, and they're getting better.
BU entered the holiday break atop the Hockey East standings. Some of the Terriers credit this year's success to the way they practice.
We want to practice how we play, which is, I know every coach says that, but actually executing that.
We practice hard for 45 to 60 minutes every single day. I think that just makes us come out really hard during games and come out really physical.
Quig scores!
These Terriers, in hockey jargon, can light the lamp.
Finds Yoon as the trailer scores!
You have great line mates and a great team out there that is consistently playing well and feels like we're clicking. It makes it a lot easier to put pucks in the net.
Yeah, Clara's playing great, and I think she's buying into the 200-foot game, and it's putting her in more situations to have that shot opportunity.
When Clara scores, she often has a pass-first line mate to thank.
Scanning the ice has always come pretty easy to me, and I don't know.
I think not a lot of players have it, so I would like to keep doing that.
Vogt's penchant for setting up teammates has benefited not just Clara, but also freshman goal scorer Lola Reed.
Taken back by Reed, scores!
It's been such a pleasure to get to know Lola. Yeah, she's a natural goal scorer, but she just wants to get better every day. And I think her work ethic, the maturity that she showed up with our group is the reason her game's translating so quick.
Toss in defenders like Julia Shaughnessy and goaltenders Callie Shanahan and Mari Peterson, and the formula is working. But the coach warns against complacency over the Christmas break.
I think we've earned much deserved rest right now, but it doesn't mean we lose our details and it doesn't mean we lose our discipline. So making sure that even in moments where we might be a bit tired, and that's okay, hockey's a long season, making sure that we're still paying attention to detail.
Coming up, we stay in the college hockey lane and speak with Hockey East Commissioner Steve Metcalf, who will break down a big change that next year is expected to affect the college hockey landscape. For over 50 years, Laura Stam Power Skating has been training hockey players to skate faster, more powerfully, and more efficiently. Visit laurastam.com to learn more about their programs throughout North America and to register for their summer hockey clinics. It was held just after Thanksgiving. The Friendship Four, a mid-season tournament held since 2015 in Belfast, Northern Ireland. This year, the Boston University Terriers returned home with the Bell Pot. BU won the title with a 4-3 win over Notre Dame. Harvard and Merrimack were the two other teams taking part in the tournament. So, Hockey East was well represented there, and here to talk Hockey East and more is Hockey East Commissioner Steve Metcalf. Steve, welcome.
Thanks very much for having me.
So the Friendship Four, BU wins it, Merrimack in it as well. How big is it for Hockey East to participate in something like that?
It's such a special and unique tournament. The only college hockey tournament out of the country, and Hockey East has always had teams there, and you go over there and you get to experience the culture. The Belfast folks do a great job putting it on, and then at the end of the tournament on Saturday night, one of our teams was ringing the bell pot, so that was always a nice ending to the tournament.
It's a heck of a championship to win, and on top of that, how cool is it for the players to be involved in something like that?
Well, I think the players have an unbelievable time. It's that Thanksgiving week, so there's no classes. They get away for a week, experience some culture. It's really just such a well-run tournament. It's very seamless for the teams and the players, and the GM of the Belfast Giants played at BU, so that's a nice little synergy. So he's always going to take care of the college teams.
Yeah, of course he is. And it's funny, you also mentioned them doing such a great job putting on the tournament. How important is it for Hockey East to grow globally and kind of get that global interest too?
Yeah, we always want to have great experiences for our team. So as you know, we've done games at Fenway, a number of them. We've been involved in this Friendship Four for a number of years, and actually next season they'll start doing a women's tournament as well, a women's Friendship Four tournament. So I think we're always wanting to give our teams these special experiences, and being involved in these outdoor games and these games in Belfast are two great examples.
And another way that the league might grow is this new CHL ruling that came out in November. What was sort of your reaction to it, and what's your take on it?
So it wasn't unexpected. The NCAA had been talking about this for several months, and the coaches were well aware. I think it just opens up college hockey for more, Canadian players that wasn't an opportunity because they were ineligible if you played in the CHL. But I also think there's a benefit for the CHL because they're going to get some players that were previously protecting their eligibility and not playing in the CHL, so now they can do that. And then, the number of college hockey players that will go on to careers in the NHL is just simply going to grow. About 1/3 of the NHL players come from college hockey now, and that number will undoubtedly grow. And I think that's good for college hockey.
One thing that's talked about a lot with the CHL is sort of adapting, whether it's a junior league, whether it's a college conference. How do you see, obviously Hockey East has no issue with strength and high-end players, but how do you see it adapting to fit these needs?
So, there's going to be a little bit of a reset with the ecosystem. There's obviously a really strong junior league in the U.S., the USHL, and the CHL, obviously north of the border. And so things will just have to get sorted out over a couple of years. And there'll be players obviously going from the CHL to college that wasn't happening before and at different ages. And so it'll just take a couple of years for the ecosystem to kind of reset. But I think college hockey is really strong and really healthy right now. And it's just probably just going to get a little deeper after a couple of years have gone by.
When there's a lot of conferences in college hockey, obviously the Big Ten, you have the NCHC, Hockey East is up there with all of those. What do you think makes Hockey East unique, and what's sort of some of the selling points to some of those CHL players who are exploring college hockey for the first time?
Well, I think we're the best place to develop as a college hockey player. You want to come and get better. You want to play against good teams. You want to play against good players. We've got the geographical advantage of being a little more compact, so you get home after the game. But Hockey East has put more players into the NHL than any other league, and I think that's what draws in good players into our league, and they want to play against good competition, and that's what you're going to get every night.
You mentioned, though, still the strength of Hockey East is really strong. Do you feel that it's the strongest potentially ever?
Well, right now, today, as we're talking, we've got 6 teams. If the NCAA tournament started tomorrow, we'll have 6 of our teams in there. And we've got 9 in the top 24, so we got a couple knocking on the door. I mean, we feel like we're really deep this year, and at the very top of our league, we've got some teams that are national contenders. So you're asking me that question today, I think we're really, really strong right now.
Yeah, and it's impressive. And on the women's side, last year the Bean Pot was played in the Garden for the first time. What were some of your takeaways from that and sort of the future of women's hockey and Hockey East?
Well, I think we've seen the attendance grow. So we saw the attendance at the women's Bean Pot last year was, I think, close to 11,000, which I think was just fantastic. And we've seen our attendance at our women's championship grow. Last year, I think, was our semifinals and finals the best combined attendance we've had in our history. So that's some real, some trends in the right direction. I'm excited for the growth in attendance in women's hockey, but certainly close to home in Hockey East as well.
And on top of that, we're sitting here in December. The Hockey East championships come down the road. Tickets just went on sale, correct?
Yes. Our tickets for our men's championship went on sale last week. So I'll remind everyone it sold out both days last year. So
get your tickets.
So go get your tickets now. Don't call me the week of. And our women's championship game will be at UConn this year, and those tickets went on sale today.
They're a hot ticket, so go get them now. Steve Metcalf, Commissioner of Hockey East, thank you so much for your time and expertise today.
Thanks very much for having me.
One more break here on New England Hockey Journal. On the other side, we talk with a Concord, Mass native who's making his presence felt with the U.S. National Team Development Program. Build your rink of dreams today, no matter what the size of your backyard rink, with high-quality white rink liners from J. Freeman. Call 800-841-9442 or sales@jfreemanco.net. To make USA Hockey's U18 team is no easy task. In recent times, several local products have worn the red, white, and blue, including Ryan Leonard, Will Vogt, Will Smith, Jamie Glantz, and Casey Mutrin. This year, Concord, Mass native Richard Gallant is making his presence felt on the USNTDP. A quick Google check asking how many NHL players' lifetime have been born in Concord, Mass, you'll find a whopping total of 3 names. Bob Sweeney and Hal Gill, once of the Bruins, and Ted Crowley, who last played with the New York Islanders in the late 90s. Concord native Richard Gallant hopes one day to add to that list. Gallant currently is playing on the U.S. National Team Development Program's U18 squad.
Uh-oh, here's a score, and sneaking was Gallant.
The NHL draft, are you thinking about that at all?
It's in the back of my mind. Obviously, it's draft year, so there's a lot of noise out there, but just every day I'm just trying to get a little bit better and just keep improving my game.
Before the pros possibly come to call, Gallant continues his duties with the U18s. He's among the team leaders in goals and points this year.
Richard Gallant gets the U.S. on the board.
So what's worked?
Just with us, it's really transition game that we find our stride. We're really fast off. We work really well off the puck.
Coaching-wise, what's the coaching been like, and how intensive has it been?
Our coach is Greg Moore. He's very intense. He pushes us to our limits, and sometimes he says he pushes us harder than he thinks he should, but he's just trying to prepare us for the future, and he's a great coach.
I don't think I have to be too hard on him. He's pretty aware and self-aware as to how he's doing and self-evaluating. A real pleasure to coach.
Gallant also played on the USA's U17 team last year. Played his prep school hockey close to home at St. Mark's in Southborough. How did prep help you for that jump?
Prep is like a 5-year age gap. Like I started at 14 years old and like the oldest players were 19. So like that really helped me like understand like the size difference and how I can find my game and still play my game against older and stronger people.
Harvard's next year, how much are you thinking about that? And what's the communication with them been like?
It's pretty exciting to go back home and play. We played Harvard this year, and just being able to see like my family's, I had like 50 friends and family in the stands, and just really helps me find a bright light there. And they talk to the coaches almost once a week, and they're really excited to have me. So it's just even better.
There's one other New England native on the U18 team. Defenseman Carter Amico hails from Maine. He's been bitten by the injury bug. Finally, the latest edition of New England Hockey Journal magazine is available now. Several stories await. Check out our inaugural Boys and Girls NEPSAC Power Rankings, which are updated weekly at hockeyjournal.com. Meet Groton star Tina Scalise, who's hailed as a program-changing player as the school chases a NEPSAC title. Find the boys and girls on our MIAA watch lists, the impact players we expect to set the pace in high school hockey this season. And that's it. Another New England Hockey Journal is in the books. I'm Evan Marinofsky. We'll see you at the rink.